Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is your boy, Acrylic going here, back with yet another new video. So today we are gonna be doing the MCU movie tier list. We're doing the movies of the MCU. So really quick background as to why I'm doing this. I was on a trip for about a week. In Cali. I went to Irvine for an amateur World League LAN, COD League. It was awesome. I got to do a lot of cool shit there, met a lot of awesome people, and may have actually jumpstarted my YouTube career. And second thing, then I went back to Vegas, then back out to Cali for a school field trip to visit 2 art museums. So I've had no time to get a video produced or edited. So that's on me, but here we are. And then also, I'm a big fan of Marvel movies. They're fun. Some of them kind of dog shit, and we'll see that coming up, like, over this way. But yeah. So without further ado, let's just jump into this. I have my dog Mater here to help rank this. He's huge. He's a big boy, and let's just jump right into this. Every single movie is in order of release. So to start, obviously, you got the OG, the very first movie in the MCU. You have Iron Man 1. I love this movie, actually. I was gonna say I liked this movie. I was 3 when this movie came out. I actually remember watching it in theaters, and now I have rewatched it. It's a very good movie. If you guys haven't watched it, I don't know what you're doing. You need to watch Iron Man 3. I must say it's above average. I think it isn't the best movie. Also made her move. He's over here now. I don't think it's the best movie, but it is a pretty good movie. All things considered, the CGI aged to perfection. Just a gorgeous movie in general. A very fun story, and obviously it started the whole MCU, which was awesome. And now was that 31 movies and like what 5 or 6 TV shows. So without Iron Man 1, none of this would have happened. Whether that be for better or for worse, who knows. Then we have the I want to say it's the Incredible Hulk. I didn't watch this movie, so this is going in never watched. But all I've heard about it is it's okay to it's bad. I've heard that's the second worst Phase 1 movie outside of Thor. So, take that for what you will. I haven't watched it. Then we have Iron Man 2. So, this is where we get introduced to War Machine and what's his name? Whiplash? He's a one-off villain. It's a cool movie, but it's really boring. I can't remember anything that happens in it besides they like fight on a racetrack, and that's the first time Whiplash is like revealed. Outside of that, have no idea what happens in that movie, really. It's mid. I actually don't understand the hate for Iron Man 2, but I don't think it's a good movie. I think it's just about average. Then we have Thor, which I did watch. And this, honestly, probably a bottom 5 Marvel movie. Remember, I haven't watched this movie in years. As it came out when I was like 5. But it wasn't a good movie. I rewatched it. Still not a good movie. I rewatched it a few years back. And I'm just gonna say it's probably a bottom 5 MCU movie. I think it is. Ooh, it's between fucking trash and doo-doo. We're gonna go doo-doo, but I could see it drop. But I'm not a big fan of it. I'm really not. It's a boring movie. I can't remember anything that happens in it besides I think he goes back, like he gets brought to Earth because like he's not worthy. I haven't watched it. I don't care enough to watch it. I haven't watched it in a long time. I don't care enough to watch it again. It's a bad movie. Unless the next like Avengers comes out and Thor's still alive, I'm not rewatching it because it's a bad movie. That's where I stand on that. Then we have Captain America, the First Avenger. Another amazing Marvel movie. Phase 1 really was a hit or miss. In my opinion, I think Thor was a big Thor. Why did I say Thor? Thor was a big miss. Iron Man 2 kind of mid. Iron Man 1 above average, obviously. And then from everything I've heard about Hulk, it's a bad movie. So it actually pretty much alternated. Good movie, bad movie, good movie, bad movie, back to another absolute fucking banger. This is probably my favorite Phase 1 movie. And it's genuinely just a really fun movie. I must say, and the ending, the post-credit scene, where, was it post-credits? I don't know if it was post-credits. I haven't watched it in a while. But when Cap is, like, back in the present day, and Nick Fury's like, it's been, 60, 70 years, and he's just like, whoa. So this is a pretty awesome movie. I think that's a fair statement. And then we get the first Avengers movie. It's a pretty good movie. I'm not gonna lie. It has, obviously, the boys. You have Iron Man, you have Thor, you have Black Widow, you have Hawkeye, you got Hulk, you got Captain America, you got the OG6 taking on Loki in New York. Loki and, what's it called? What's those? The Jatari? My bad, I absolutely just hit my desk. I really hope that wasn't loud on mic. It's a great movie. This was a very high note to leave Phase 1 on. I'm going to say it's an above average movie, better than Iron Man 1. I really like this movie, although the humor is kind of corny in the present day. It was pretty fun. I had a good time with it. They had fun with it. Joss Whedon made a pretty good Avengers movie. And he hasn't really followed that up in superheroes. That's his best superhero movie, in my opinion. That I've watched, at least. I think it's fun. I think it's a very good movie. Above average, for sure. Iron Man 3. This is another movie where I think it's actually kind of average. I don't hate it, but I don't remember it. And that's kind of a problem with Iron Man 2 and 3. Where it's not necessarily a bad movie, but it's not memorable at all. I remember the Iron Legion is in this movie. Okay, like all of his Iron Man suits that fight the bad guy at the end. The bad guy was like a big flame, not big flaming dude, but a dude that whose body was basically a fire. And that's all I remember. I'm gonna put this below Iron Man 2, but I do think it's mid. I don't hate it like some people, but I don't like it either. I think you can watch it, but I'm not going to pick this movie if I have an option. Then you have Thor: The Dark World. I'm not even going to skip it. I'm not even going to really talk about this one. It's a fucking trash movie. Genuinely, it's awful. The villains, super unmemorable. I want to say it's the Ether. Cool. It's the Red Infinity Stone, but that's it. The movie sucked. The script was terrible from what I remember. And yeah, it was worse than Thor 1. In my opinion, probably the worst Marvel movie to date. Honestly. Which now brings me in to one of the best Marvel movies to date, if not the best. The Winter Soldier. I think this is better than the first Avenger. Spoiler alert. Every Captain America movie is damn near flawless in my eyes, because those movies are so good. So I like it. I really do. I like Bucky obviously being the villain. He is the Winter Soldier. I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I remember it being pretty cool. The elevator scene where Cap takes on beats up 7 guys in the elevator. He's like, "Oh, you sure you want to do this?" And then they start swinging. I like that scene. That's a pretty cool one. The plot, from what I remember, is pretty good. Overall, I think it's an awesome movie. And then you continue rolling with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. fantastic. The music, god tier. I want to say it was what? Is it 70s? Because I want to say go 70s, 80s, 90s. Because I think the new one's 90s, but I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. All I remember is it's a pretty good soundtrack. Probably one of the best, if not the best in Marvel. And I had a great time with it. I love this movie to death. It's awesome. I don't think it's the GOAT, but it is worse than Winter Soldier, better than First Avenger. Then you have, sorry if I'm speeding through these, by the way. Then you have Age of Ultron. And, it's not bad, but it feels like a worse Avengers 1, if that makes sense. Like, very similar humor. Doesn't really feel different. You have Quicksilver, you have Wanda, aka Scarlet Witch. Wanda becomes an actually important character. Quicksilver dies in there by being shot, even though the guy is able to outrun bullets. I don't know. And honestly, it was a waste of Quicksilver. Ultron, cool villain. I'm not the biggest fan of his motives are cool. Not the biggest fan of it as a movie. Just like the Ultron drone army. Sokovia falling out of the sky, though, that's a pretty cool scene. The Avengers actually failing to some degree, very cool. I like seeing that. Because, you know, I like having the heroes lose occasionally at the end of the movie. I don't like it when the heroes always are, like, you know, the victors, right? Because sometimes that's boring. And this one kind of was like, they won, but also a city fell out of the sky. So what do you view it as, right? And I think this is a mid movie. I think it's better than both Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. But it really is just a basic story with characters that could have been a lot better. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Then you move to Ant-Man, the first one. Probably the best one out of the trilogy, although that's really not saying much. I don't like Ant-Man 1. I love one scene, though, which is the final fight between Ant-Man and the Hornet, I want to say is his name. With, like, the Thomas the Train becoming, like, huge. Or, like, not actually huge. Well, at the very end it does. But appearing as massive. And the way that they showed, like, the small scale of Ant-Man and of all the animals that, like, lived on that scale. And the Hornet and all that. Very cool. The characters, not memorable at all. And honestly, I don't like this movie. I don't like the trilogy. I think Ant-Man in these movies is very, 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 very weak as a character, which bums me out because he's a pretty cool character in the comics. I'm gonna say this is mid, like here, bottom of mid. Then we go to the best Marvel movie of all time, in my opinion. You get Captain America Civil War. I fucking love this movie. And you have, obviously, Cap and Iron Man fighting each other at the start. Basically, the Sokovia Accords, they're like, hey, look, Sokovia fell out of the sky because superheroes weren't put in check and, you know, they didn't do their jobs, basically. And they acted on their own and they fucked up. So now we want basically and they got to remain anonymous. Now I want every superhero to reveal themselves and, like, their name, or else they have to go basically do this one, like, or else you are a felon, I believe, right? People are like, I'm not doing that. You're not gonna get me to do that. Like, capping them are like, no, fuck off. I'm not doing that. I think is what it was. Don't quote me on that. I haven't watched this movie in a few years. And then Bucky, you know, he's responsible for blowing up Black Panther's dad, King T'Challa, sorry, Mater's being an idiot. I didn't know he had a bone. It's not King T'Challa. It doesn't matter. The King of Wakanda, who's Black Panther's father. gets killed by Bucky, or so they think. And actually, it was Bucky, wasn't it? It was. It was actually Bucky, yeah. Um, and so then Cap's like, I'm gonna defend Bucky. Iron Man's like, dude, you're fucking stupid. So they have to fight over that. And then at the very end, obviously, the Avengers is split up because Bucky killed Iron Man's parents. Mater, why are you eating a bone right now, man? I'm trying to record. But yeah, Bucky killed Iron Man's parents, and Iron Man's like, I'm gonna kill this guy. And then Cap, like, destroys his armor. Blah, 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 blah. Shit happens. Whatever the guy's name is, that's the real main villain of this movie. Gets, like, arrested. Black Panther, like, catches him. Great scene. I love that scene. Overall, my personal favorite. Honestly, probably the most memorable Marvel movie out there, I'd say. And yeah, I fucking love that movie. Then we go Doctor Strange, which I also think is one of the best. I think it is an awesome movie. I think Guardians 1 is better, but that's also because I'm a huge Guardians fan, and that's going to be reflected very soon. Yeah, Doctor Strange, great movie. Visuals, probably the best out of any Marvel movie. I fucking love it. Just the way that they actually displayed the magic and the way that I can warp time and space and everything. Really effective. Easily displayed the rules of magic in the MCU in a quick and efficient manner. So that's an awesome thing. Doctor Strange is great. The Ancient One's great. The main villain is my only problem with this movie. I don't remember the main villain. I'm also going to drop of Captain America, the First Avenger. But I don't remember the main villain of this movie. I know it's like some evil wizard who got corrupted by Dormammu. Cannot tell you anything else because I don't remember anything else out of that villain. But the Dormammu I've come to bargain scene, pretty cool scene. The battles, pretty cool battles. I love seeing the mirror dimension for the brief time that we see it in this movie. Fantastic. I love the Doctor Strange movie. It's great. Then we go to Guardians Volume 2. And they keep the good times rolling. This is what? At least... Yeah, no, this is 3 back-to-back-to-back fucking bangers. I think Guardians 2 is better than the first one, which obviously puts it above Doctor Strange 1. The music choice, fantastic. You get to know... You already know these characters, so they're, like, familiar. So that's awesome. The villain, much more memorable. I don't remember the villain... Oh, no. Guardians 1 was... Ronan, right? Yeah, Ronan, the Destroyer. Guardians 2 was fucking Peter Quill's dad, which was awesome. Ego the Living Planet, fucking great villain. I liked seeing Star-Lord be like, you know, part celestial, part human. He's a god, basically, but, like, he doesn't know what he's doing. I love the character dynamic. That's something that's really good in both Guardians movies. The character-to-character dynamic, fantastic. The humor lands. The music, as always, is amazing. I think there is not one bad part of this movie. I'm actually even going to put this above The Winter Soldier because of that. The opening scene also extremely memorable. With, what's it called? Fucking, oh my god, I'm blanking. Why can't I think? With them fighting that big-ass monster. I love it. I love seeing little group dance to the music while they are getting their asses whooped. And then Drax is like, I'm going to go inside and chop it up from the inside. And they're like, it's thicker on the inside. And he doesn't know that. Overall, fantastic movie. That's an awesome movie. Then we go to Spider-Man Homecoming, which I do think is a good Spider-Man movie. I think it's a great Spider-Man movie. I like seeing the character dynamic of Spider-Man in, you know, like being the local hero. He's not super famous yet. But you know, he's a local guy. He still hops around the neighborhood. I like seeing that. And then obviously you have the Vulture, who the villain of the Vulture as a villain is a very good character because he's effective. He makes you actually kind of feel bad for him the longer the movie goes. And you kind of understand his motivations, and he doesn't seem like really a terrible person. He seems like a flawed individual, which I like. I like having a character that's not like, just bad for the sake of being bad, but a character that has their own flaws, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they do for a good reason, which in this case is to help his family, if I remember correctly. The only thing that I understand criticism-wise is how they have Iron Man basically be like, how Peter is so heavily reliant on Iron Man, but even to that degree, not really, because once Peter gets his suit taken away, he learns that he still is capable of being Spider-Man without it. He doesn't need the suit to be Spider-Man. And that's a huge thing, and I love that. So, I'm gonna say this movie is an above average movie, but like bottom of above average. I think that's a fantastic movie, but I don't like. There's a lot of good movies in Marvel's run. Like, genuinely, there's a lot. And I don't think it's fair to say that this is better than Iron Man 1, which I don't. Actually, I think it is fair to put that there. And better than the Avengers. I don't think it's better than the first Avenger. But I think it's better than the Avengers and Iron Man 1. Actually, all of the Iron Man movies, technically. It's a fantastic movie. I like it. On to the next one. We got Thor Ragnarok. Remember how I said they keep the good times rolling? Well, that ain't stopping. This was another fantastic movie. I think it is right about here. I think it is just worse than Guardians Volume 2. The humor Taika Waititi brings is amazing. He genuinely fixed Thor as a character, because Thor's first two solo movies are so bad. As you can tell, they're so bad. And then this one's a banger. And the humor lands. I like the vibrancy and the tone of it. It's a comedy, but still, like, engaging story-wise. I love seeing, I can't think of the planet, but it's the battle planet. I like seeing it. It's cool. I like seeing Hulk basically be like, the champion. And then, over time, just be a pretty chill guy. After, he whoops Thor's ass and all that. It's cool. I like it. Hella fantastic villain. She's hella cool. And I like how her power is like, hey, I can bring back the dead, bitch. And it's really cool. Overall, fantastic character, fantastic movie. One of, if not, I think this is going to remain in the top 3. I don't think there's any movies that are going to knock this out of the top 3. I'm very confident in that. Fantastic movie. I love it. And let's keep it moving. Oh my god, there's another amazing movie. Black Panther 1. My only critique for this movie, my only real critique, is the final fight CGI. Everyone knows it. The final fight has I would say the worst CGI ever in a Marvel movie. It just looks so not real. At all. And outside of that, though, fantastic movie. I think Doctor Strange is better than it, but I think it's still an awesome movie. I think I am actually going to put it at the top of above average, though, because I think being here is a very big accomplishment. Then we have Infinity War. I've said this already, but I love a movie where the heroes lose. And Thanos is such a good villain. His motivations are understandable to some degree. Like, he's a terrible person, but you can understand where, like, his fuck up arrived, like where he fucked up, because at the end of the day, he's like, look, there's overpopulation. There's too little resources for too many people. You can't have it this way. You gotta cut down on the population to survive, because his planet got destroyed by overpopulation and a lack of resources. Camera focus in. There we go. So you can understand why he thinks that, because his planet got destroyed by it. But the way he goes about it doing so is, instead of, doubling the resources or, coming up with another solution, his concept is, I have to kill half the universal population. which is terrible. You can't do that. And he's a fantastic villain. I like, what's it called? Is it the black? What is it called? The black something. I'm not gonna be able to think of it, but the side villains that like basically serve under him, they're cool design wise. Not really do that much in the story, but they're cool. And I like how this movie has, honestly, all the characters in the MCU work well together. It's not like, everyone's just thrown in with no thought. Everyone is there and they have a role in the story somewhere. And I love that. Guardians, they're there to get Thor, to get Stormbreaker. What's it called? Oh my god, I can't fucking think. The original Avengers, obviously you have to have the OGs, but they all serve their purpose. Wanda and Vision, Vision, has to die so they can destroy the Mind Stone. Doesn't work. So then Thanos gets the final Infinity Stone. That's cool. Also that scene, awesome. Just seeing Thanos be like, so Wanda destroys Vision's head. And then Thanos is just like, nope, reverse it. Fucking pulls the reverse Uno card. Fantastic scene. And I love it when the villains win. Because it's so unexpected. And it was amazing. So, I'm gonna say this is honestly probably one of the best Marvel movies of all time. In my opinion, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's awesome. I loved it. And I will always remember the scene on Titan where Spider-Man is like, getting dusted away. And he's like, he's like, I don't want to go. Please don't let me go. And I genuinely cried in the theater during that scene. And I don't know, like, I've watched that scene back and it's still sad. But I don't know why it hit me so hard. But the performances in this movie from all the actors is amazing. They gave it their A game, and you can see that. This is probably the movie with the best acting in the MCU. Every single actor was on point with their character, with how they portrayed them, and with how they acted. And it was amazing. I love this movie to death, and sadly, a few of the movies that followed it up kinda weren't so amazing. But this movie alone was great. And now we have, I think it's Captain Marvel then Ant-Man and the Wasp, because Ant-Man and the Wasp then feeds directly in Endgame. Regardless, Captain Marvel, very cool character on paper, right? Very cool character in the comics. Movie portrayal, I'm not even gonna be mad at Brie Larson. I think that she did a great job with how this character was written. She made the character work. I did not like this movie. This movie is a bad Marvel movie. Just bad movie. It's just so fucking boring. The only thing I remember is the scrolls. Which, I guess, yeah, is one of the main things. But I can't tell you the fucking villain. I want to say it was the people that, like, Captain Marvel grew up, like, working with the Nova Corps people. But I don't know, like, this movie was so unmemorable. Or was it Ronan? I don't know. I just remember her destroying a bunch of Ronin ships. Regardless, this movie kind of fucking sucked. I don't like this movie at all. This is doo-doo, but better than Thor doo-doo, because Thor is fucking trash. Terrible movie. Then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp, which, it's cool that it, like, introduces us to the quantum realm. When you're getting, what's it called, Janet Van Dyne, right? Which is, Hope's mother. But, holy fuck, this movie is, again, so not memorable. In the slightest. That's the only part that I remember about this. I want to say the villain was the guy from The Walking Dead. That, like, actor, his name was Sonny. Like, in the movie was Sonny, I believe. But, like, this movie fucking sucks. It's so boring. Okay, one second. My dog wants out of my room. Go, buddy. Go, say hello. Yeah, no, this movie sucks. It is doo-doo. They had some amazing movies. They had like a Shriek going, and then they dropped 2 fucking trash ones. Um, and then they rebounded with Endgame. Endgame, it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's anywhere near Infinity War. I think Infinity War blows it out of the fucking water. In terms of just quality in general. Just the characters in Endgame and the writing and the story, specifically just the story, was way worse. In Endgame, but I liked how it basically sealed everything in a nice little bow. You have Cap going back to deliver all the stones and, like, you know, grow old with Peggy. Comes back, gives the shield to Sam. He's like, here you go. So I like how that leads into Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Iron Man dies, which leads into Far From Home, because now Peter doesn't have that mentor figure anymore. And obviously that Iron Man death, very memorable for a reason. Black Widow, she dies. That one wasn't that impactful, honestly, but it's fine. That's kind of what sends Hawkeye into the series, Hawkeye. And, you know, sends the Guardians and Thor off to work together, or what was expected to be them working together in the next Thor movie / Guardians movie. Did not really happen, which is a massive bummer. But the story itself wasn't that good. I don't like how they kill Thanos right off rip and at the start, and then, you know, then they build it up by getting the stones back through time periods, and then come to the present, or around the present, Thanos whoops their ass, almost wins again. He loses. Then everything that I just described kind of happens, besides the Black Widow death, which was a part of them, you know, getting the stones. This movie's great, but it is, like, just barely better than First Avenger. I think it's an above average movie, but it's not amazing. Or awesome, whatever. It's not awesome. It really isn't. Oh, I am so sorry, Rafe. Are you okay? I did not think that you were coming through that door. Is your hip okay? Alright, cool. You're alright. Alrighty. Yeah, no, that movie kind of sucks. Then we have Far From Home. Great movie. I don't really care too much for it, though. I love it. I thought that was honestly probably one of the best Spider-Man movies for a time being. And then I rewatched the Spider-Man movies and went, it's an okay Spider-Man movie. It's a little bit worse than Homecoming. I think I'd put it like here. I do like Far From Home. I do think it's a good Marvel movie. I think it's a good movie in general. But I don't think that's amazing. And that's honestly where I'm going to put that. Mysterio, though, fantastic fucking villain. Sorry, my other dog wanted out. Both of my dogs wanted out. Okay, you know what? This is a weird recording. But yeah, no, Mysterio, fantastic villain. I like how he doesn't actually have powers. He just, you know, has a bunch of drones that he honestly got given, essentially, by Spider-Man. Which is awesome. I like how all the things he does isn't, like, real at all. And, like, that even goes into the very end where he's like, oh, Spider-Man is Peter Parker. And it is, you know, rough. Because you see Peter's whole world basically destroyed in No Way Home. And I love how they just had that. He's probably... Him and Vulture are 2 amazing fucking villains. It's actually ridiculous. Every single Spider-Man movie from the MCU, if you don't like the Spider-Man movies, you have to give them credit. All the villains they've had in those movies have been amazing. You have Vulture in Homecoming, you have Mysterio in Far From Home, and then you have Green Goblin, who's the main villain in No Way Home. Fantastic movie in Far From Home. But it's not the best Spider-Man movie in the MCU. Or the best movie in the MCU. And then you have Black Widow. Now, I don't hate this movie. I think when I reviewed it, I gave it like a 6 out of 10. It's an alright movie. It's nothing special, in my opinion. I think it's a pretty basic movie. I like the Red Guardian, who's like the Soviet version of Captain America, who was in the Gulag and all that for a while. What's it called? I want to say it's Yelena Bolova, but I don't know if that's actually her name. But regardless, Black Widow's sister, cool character. She's used like well in Hawkeye and is set up well to continue working in, in the rest of this whole like universe. Which was very cool. I think Black Widow is a fine character. I don't think that it is a truly amazing movie. I think that's alright. They woefully fucked up. They fucked up Taskmaster. Like, that character was so criminally fucked over. Is like the only way I can say it. And that sucks because Taskmaster is one of my favorite comic book villains. And it sucks how they utilized the character of Taskmaster in the movie. It really did suck. The main villain, I don't remember. I just know that he's Taskmaster's father. And that's honestly about it. So this movie, it's better than Ant-Man. I'm gonna drop Ant-Man. I really dislike Ant-Man. I'm gonna put Ant-Man below Captain Marvel, actually. I fucking hate the Ant-Man movies, man. Like, they are bad. So, Black Widow, it's an alright movie. Then you go into Shang-Chi and the Legend of the 10 Rings? 10 Rings, right? Yeah, 10 Rings. Great movie. Fantastic movie. The best one, besides No Way Home and Wakanda Forever, out of these, was it Phase 4? Phase 5? Whatever phase we're in. Out of this phase's movies. And I could argue it's better than No Way Home. I'm going to say this is an awesome movie actually going right about here. I genuinely loved this fucking movie from start to finish. I know a lot of people didn't like it to some degree. I thought the CGI was great. I thought the story was actually interesting. And I guess if you really want to nitpick it, there are things to criticize in it, but I like the way the 10 Rings were, like, used. And the way they were shown, like, the powers, and the way they basically manipulated Shang-Chi's father into, freeing the Devourer of Worlds, I want to say it's called, or whatever. Which is awesome. I really do enjoy that. Shang-Chi is an amazing fucking movie. And honestly, that's all I really have to say for it. It's a fantastic movie. I have no complaints with it. Then you go to Eternals. And I didn't hate Eternals like everyone else. I thought it was a bit of a letdown. I thought the CGI was good, though. In the movie, which I know a lot of people were criticizing. I thought the CGI was good. The story, really boring. And the characters, really uninteresting. I can't tell you a single name of the characters besides, what's the guy that is like named after? Okay, I can't even tell you that. I don't even know which one it is, but it's the one that's based off the angel that flew too close to the sun, or the god, or whatever. I don't know. I'll probably come back to me after I'm done recording this too, and that's gonna piss me off. But yeah, it's an okay movie. Not even okay. It's a bad movie. But I don't hate it. I think it's doo-doo. I think it's about here. I think it is worse than Thor. I mean, better than Thor, worse than Ant-Man and the Wasp. It's just not memorable at all. It really isn't. I couldn't tell you a thing that happens in that movie besides, like, they kill a Celestial by, like, merging with it and, like, it, like, being put to sleep and, like, freezing over. That's all I remember. Then you have No Way Home, which is the best out of the Spider-Man trilogy of movies in this series, in my opinion. I think it is better than First Avenger as well. I like this movie a lot. I think they utilize the villains well. They utilize Doc Ock well, where he's like, actually not that bad. They kind of get through Doc Ock's storyline quickly. They cure him. Then you have Electro, cool character. They cure him at the very end. Cool guy. You have Green Goblin, who is the main villain in this movie, and he is done amazingly well by Willem Dafoe. He brings back that energy that Green Goblin had. It was awesome. Just the sheer creepiness and horror of Green Goblin to some degree, the difference between Norman and basically his inner demon is a very cool dynamic. I like the way that this movie does not fuck around and it is not afraid to, take a risk in killing Aunt May, which is something that, from my memory at least, not a single Spider-Man movie to this point has done. Obviously, I'm positive it didn't happen in the first trilogy, maybe in the Amazing Spider-Man one, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen. As far as I remember, this is the only time this ever happens, and it was genuinely really sad. And yeah, I mean, it was just fucking brutal, but it sets the stakes, and that's the way that they introduce Toby and Andrew into this movie, by them basically coming through the portal that Strange opened up, and then that what's his name, MJ, and it's on the tip of my tongue, I can't think of it, MJ and Spider-Man's best friend open to get Peter, but they bring in the other two Peters, not Tom Holland Peter, and then they have to go find him. And I think it's awesome. I love this movie. I love the final fight. Again, Green Goblin just being an insane person and not being afraid to, go somewhere that no other Spider-Man movie's gone. I genuinely commend. I'm actually going to put this up here, and awesome. Now, the more I talk about it, the more I really enjoy this movie. And, yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say for that. Then you have Multiverse of Madness. It's alright. I'm not going to hate it. I think that's in mid-movie. I think that's a top-tier mid, bottom-tier above average, but it really is just, hey, as another Doctor Strange movie, but it's not nearly as cool as the first one. Yeah, they somewhat explore the multiverse. You introduce America Chavez. Wait, is that it? Yeah, I think so. As what the fuck's her name? I can't think of these characters right now, man. I'm tired. I've had a busy week. But you have America Chavez get introduced. You have a cool fight between Strange and Wanda. Yeah, that did happen. They did actually have a real fight scene. I forgot if that happened or if there was just them just kind of chilling. And yeah, I mean, it's a cool movie. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about it. It's not memorable, really, besides Wanda being a somewhat cool villain. And the way we get to see the whole, universe kind of be fucky-wucky once you get into the multiverse of things. And I don't know. I like it. It's cool. Then you have Thor: Love and Thunder. I'm not really going to break this down that much. I thought it's doo-doo. I really dislike it, but it is better than Eternals and Thor and the Dark World. It's an alright movie. Not alright. It's a bad movie, but it has its saving graces with some of the costume work. Some of the story's cool. Just the humor really did not work at all. And it sucks that Taika is not going to get another job at Marvel probably because of this movie. Because he really did knock it out of the park with Thor Ragnarok. And it sucks that we're probably not going to get another movie by him because of Love and Thunder. And then lastly, because I haven't watched Quantumania, let me just put Quantumania down here. We have Wakanda Forever. This is a better Black Panther. I do actually think it's... Is it a better... No. The villain in Black Panther 1's so much stronger. But I like how they pick up where... What's it called? kind of like following the death of King T'Challa. They pick up right there. It's awesome. And it really does suck. It really is kind of sad seeing, how the characters reacted to the death. Seeing the funeral was awesome. And I think Namor isn't a bad villain. I actually really like him as a villain. I just don't think he's amazing. But it's cool. I like the villain. I like Shuri as eventually becoming the Black Panther. I like Ironheart in this movie, which is actually really impressive because generally, Ironheart in the comics has been a very much so disliked character just because of how she's been written. But in this movie, worked really well. And I really hope they continue building off of this movie with that character in mind. The only thing I have criticism of is, well, one of the main things I have criticism of is Ironheart's costume. It's just fucking bulky, bro. Like, hold on, let me see if I can pull it up on a separate thing and drag it over. It is kind of fucking stupid looking. Honest to God, let me pull it up. Ironheart movie costume. It looks dumb. This is what it looks like. Here, let me just pull it up over here. Did not want to work. Okay, hold on a second. This is pissing me off now. Can you work, please? There we go. This is what it looked like. It looked fucking terrible. I hate this. This is just ugly. But the movie itself is good. I don't really have any criticisms. Okoye, fantastic fucking character as always. A very cool character to have in the MCU. Just a fucking badass character. Just a badass bitch. And yeah, I mean, I love Okoye. I love just the whole setting. I like how they weren't afraid, again, to kill off a character, which was Shuri's mother. They were like, hey, we're gonna, this character dies. That's awesome. I like that character dies because it kind of just shows Namor isn't gonna hold back, and I like that. It's a very cool movie. Again, visuals, amazing. Honest to God, I think the CG might be better in a good chunk of this movie than it was in Black Panther 1. I don't have any definitive points in Wakanda Forever that I'm like, that's bad looking. That looks bad. That looks unrealistic. In a Black Panther 1, obviously, final fight scene. Pretty much, that's all I really have to say about that, though. This is my definitive Marvel movies ranking. Let me know what you guys think of it. I think this is pretty accurate, obviously. Let me know what you think should be higher, what you think should be lower. If you guys are like, hey, dude, Ant-Man and the Wasp is my favorite movie. I don't know why, but good for you. Or if you're like Dark World is, or if you say Civil War's trash. Again, don't know what movies you're watching, but good for you. But yeah, just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you did enjoy, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe for more content. Sorry about this one being a little bit longer than normal. I'm really going to try not having it be this long. But yeah, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.